Well, good morning everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. Hey, today I want to get on here and talk about the #1 epic mod that I've done to the interior of the Tacoma here. You might be surprised, and this mod was a little bit controversial on the channel. So what is it? Well, I'm actually sitting in it. What it is the seat spacer mod. Now, I'll show you in a couple minutes what I've done here, but it changes the angle of the front seat. If you're looking right now, you can see that I'm sitting still at an angle. I mean, the angle is not gone. It's never going to be gone. I mean, you would have to put maybe 2 inches of spacer in the back, maybe a little more, to actually even out or level the seat. What this mod has done has changed the seating position to raise the rear a little bit so that you're a little bit more level, if you will, than you were before. Now, I'm going to hop back here in the back real quick. I'm going to show you what I've done. Then we'll come back up here in the front and I'll tell you what it has meant to me and what the real purpose of this is. All right, like I said, this mod really happens behind the seat. Even though it's a front interior mod, it really happens behind the front seat. So let's pop her open here, and you guys can see I actually have the cover off right there of the bolt area for the front seat. Now, I've done this mod on both the front seat and the passenger seat, and what it is, I put a longer bolt in, you guys can see here, and this is a grade 8 bolt, by the way, and also a series of washers stacked up. Now, the purpose of this, as I mentioned, was to raise the seating position or the seating angle of the front seat. Now, there is, of course, on this model year and previous model years, matter of fact, from 2019 and older, no adjustment that you can make to the Tacoma seat as far as raising or lowering the seat itself. So this is my way of raising just the rear of the seat to gain a better or a more level seating position than comes OEM or stock. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is important and why this is the #1 epic mod for me. Okay, sitting here in the front seat, when I first got this truck, something just didn't feel right to me. I don't know if I really experienced that in the previous 3 Tacomas I've had. Maybe I've just gotten more sensitive over the years, I don't know. But something just didn't feel right. Well, I finally determined that the seating angle was wrong as far as I'm concerned. Too much of a decrease in the rear as compared to the front. So that's why I decided to go ahead and add spacers to the back, to kind of bring up your rear end a little bit, which is the center of your body, of course. I mean, if you bring your rear end up, you're going to increase the height of your head, which has your eyes in it. This is an anatomy, a little bit of an anatomy class. So anyway, in doing that, it just made the truck feel more like a truck to me. You know, prior to doing that, it kind of felt like, I don't know, like one of those low-riding sports cars, you know, like a Viper or a Vet or a McLaren or something. Because they all sit down and back a little bit, you know, by design. The difference is, this isn't a sports car. It's supposed to feel like a truck. And I wanted it to feel like a truck. So that's why I did it. It just didn't feel comfortable to me. The vantage point looking out over the hood was just wrong. It was more like you were looking down the hood or across the hood than looking over it. So it did change that a little bit. I now am able to see better over the hood. And this doesn't have anything to do with height. I mean, to be honest, I'm 5'9.5". So I'm kind of middle of the road, you know. If you're 6'5" or something, well, first of all, I'd say you'd probably be pretty uncomfortable in here. My guess is your head probably hits the ceiling. But it probably wouldn't matter to you from that perspective. Matter of fact, then you're probably looking right into the visor. But for me, it did change that a little bit as well. That was not the main motivator. The main motivator for me was just comfort. The way that my body is positioned. positioned in the truck. But that is a side benefit, and I've heard from some people who are not as tall as I am, that it did change their vantage point and they're more comfortable now driving the truck because they can see over the hood. Again, as opposed to looking across the hood. Now, there have been some complaints, or some comments I should say, on the channel about safety and what grade this that I used, and you know, I would first say that you should never do a mod that you're not comfortable with, right? If you don't feel safe in doing something to your truck, you definitely should not do it. Number one. Number two, I am perfectly comfortable with this. This mod does not scare me. I'm not concerned that if, God forbid, I ever get in an accident, that I'm going to have a head-on and go flying through the windshield or something. Matter of fact, I would say that if you ever get in an accident that it's going to be severe enough that you have to worry about the bolts in your seat, then you probably already have bigger problems. But again, never do or attempt any mod that you are not comfortable with. Now, there are other solutions out there besides just washers. People have suggested hockey pucks. I know some people have done that. There are some places that actually sell machined aluminum spacers. They're blocks that are a little more substantial from a mass standpoint, I guess, than just washers. Again, I don't know that that's necessary, but if this is something you're looking to do and that would make you more comfortable, then by all means, I would do something like that. Now, you might say, well, gee, of all the mods that you've done, that's your number one epic mod? Well, it all starts when you jump in the driver's seat, right? I mean, when you first get in the seat, the first thing you're going to notice before you turn that key and see your brand new shiny stereo, or maybe your upgraded exhaust or your higher suspension, is you're going to feel how you are in the seat in that truck. That's where it all starts. That's where the problem was for me. I was not comfortable in the beginning. Now I am. Even though this is my number one epic mod, it's probably the one that I think least about, because it's just there. Who thinks about a seat when you get in the truck? And that's the way that it should be, right? If you get in your truck and you're thinking about the way the seat feels, and I know a lot of people do, because I've heard numerous complaints out there about there being no adjustment in the driver's seat as far as up and down or any kind of a power option, then I'd say you might want to consider doing something. Now, they are taking care of that in the 2020. The 2020 that's coming, which I'm going to get, by the way, does have a 10-way power adjustable seat. Now, given the space that's in here, and you can see just leaning over, my head is right at pillar height. It's going to be interesting to see how much wiggle room you actually get with that 10-way adjustable power option that's going to be in the truck. I don't know how much more there is to give in here. Not a lot. So, I may end up, depending on what option they give me for raising and lowering the rear of that seat, doing the same thing in the next model. And I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't scare me. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, talk about that a little bit. It's one of the most forgotten mods that I've done, but it is the most impactful one from the point that I get in the truck before I even push that start button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Have you done this mod? Did it make any difference for you? Several people have told me it did. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.